The Cursed Letter. Michael Dawson had always dismissed urban legends as nonsense, the kind of stories kids used to scare each other at sleepovers. So, when he found an old, yellowed envelope on his doorstep one chilly October evening, he barely paid it any attention. The handwriting on the front was jagged, almost frantic, and simply read, "Read me." With a shrug, he took it inside, dropping his keys onto the kitchen counter and flipping open the envelope. The letter inside was written in red ink, its words scrawled with an unsettling urgency. "You must send this letter to 10 others within 3 days, or you will suffer the fate of those before you. Ignore this warning, and you will be haunted, tormented, and ultimately taken." Michael scoffed. "A chain letter? Seriously?" He chuckled, shaking his head as he crumpled the letter and tossed it into the trash. That night, as he lay in bed scrolling through his phone, a noise echoed from the hallway. Soft scratching, like nails against wood. Michael sat up, listening. His apartment was small, just a one-bedroom unit on the 3rd floor, and he lived alone. His breath hitched as the sound grew louder, closer. Slowly, he stepped out of bed and inched toward the door. The scratching stopped. Cautiously, he flicked on the hallway light. Nothing. "Maybe a rat," he mumbled, though he'd never seen any before. Shaking his head, he returned to bed. Day 1. The following morning, Michael left for work, completely forgetting about the letter. At lunch, his co-worker Josh noticed his distracted demeanor. "Dude, you okay? You look exhausted." Michael sighed. "Yeah, just didn't sleep well. Heard weird noises last night. Probably nothing." Josh raised an eyebrow. "Weird noises? Like what?" "Scratching. Probably just a rat in the walls." Josh smirked. "Or a ghost." Michael laughed. "Right, sure. If I vanish mysteriously, you'll know why." That night, Michael tried to relax with a movie, but an unease settled over him. The air in his apartment felt heavy, suffocating. Then, just as the clock struck midnight, his phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. "Why didn't you listen?" Michael's stomach nodded. He hesitated before replying. "Who is this?" No answer. Then, the scratching returned. This time, it wasn't coming from the hallway. It was inside his bedroom, right beside his closet. Heart pounding, he reached for the bedside lamp, but the bulb flickered and died. In the darkness, he heard a whisper, soft yet guttural. "Send the letter." He lunged for his phone, turning on the flashlight. The closet door was ajar. A chill crept up his spine. Had it been open before? He slammed it shut, breathing heavily. "It's just my imagination," he told himself. But deep down, doubt gnawed at him. Down on away, Michael barely slept. By morning, his hands trembled from exhaustion. At work, he confided in Josh, half laughing at his own paranoia. "So, let me get this straight," Josh said. "You got some creepy letter, ignored it, and now weird stuff is happening? Dude, send it, just to be safe." Michael scoffed. "Come on, you don't really believe in that crap, do you?" Josh shrugged. "Better safe than sorry. I mean, what's the harm?" Michael mulled it over. What was the harm? It was just a stupid letter. But something about it felt wrong. He decided to throw it away. Again. That night he burned the letter in his sink, watching the flames consume the paper, until nothing remained but ashes. At exactly midnight, his phone vibrated. A video message. Hands shaking, he pressed play. It was footage of his apartment, filmed from inside his closet. The door creaked open ever so slightly, revealing a dark, twisted figure crouched in the shadows. 2 sunken, milky white eyes stared directly into the camera. Then a voice, low, ragged, and impossibly close, whispered, "I see you." Michael screamed and dropped his phone. The closet door slammed open with a deafening bang. The air turned frigid as the entity crawled forward, its elongated limbs bending at impossible angles. Its mouth stretched open, revealing rows of jagged, blackened teeth. Michael bolted. He fled his apartment, sprinting down the hallway, pounding on his neighbor's door. An old man answered, scowling. "What the hell, kid?" "Please, something's in my apartment." The man peered past Michael into the hallway. "I don't see anything." Michael turned, breath hitching. His apartment door was still open, lights flickering. But the entity was gone. Was he losing his mind? Day 3. Michael booked a hotel for the night. He refused to step foot in his apartment again. That morning, he researched the letter, scouring forums and obscure websites. A legend popped up. The Letter of the Nameless. A story told of a man in the 1800s who had received the same cursed letter. He ignored it. 3 days later, he was found inside his home, his body contorted, mouth frozen in a silent scream. Ever since, the letter had been passed from victim to victim. The only way to escape was to send it to 10 others before the third night ended. Michael had only hours left. With no time to waste, he wrote the letter 10 times, addressing it to random names he found in a phone book. He mailed them out, each envelope sealed with shaking fingers. As the third night arrived, he locked himself in his hotel room, waiting. Midnight struck. His phone remained silent. No scratching. No whispers. Just nothing. A heavy weight lifted from his chest. Had it worked? Relief flooded him as he drifted into sleep for the first time in days. Day 4. Michael woke up feeling lighter, refreshed. He checked his phone. No messages, no calls. He was safe. Then a notification. One of the letters had been returned. Insufficient address. His stomach dropped. A knock echoed from the hotel door. Scratch, scratch, scratch.